We started off in February with a season launch at the Co-op Arena. We finished on Saturday night just a few miles down the road at Old Trafford, and we had the 5th ever name on the Betfred Super League trophy, and it's Hull KR, and they're also treble winners.
It's going to be the toughest game of these players' lives. I feel good.
Nervous as you would expect.
We sponsor a lot of big sports. This is the one closest to my heart.
We wanted to play, open up, and be smart and disciplined about it.
We represent the people from East School. We do it like we did tonight, a lot of determination. Speechless, mate, can't believe it. The journey we've been on as a team, and it was all for this.
Yeah, congratulations to Hull KR, treble winners. I bet that sounds good, and I think there's still a few hangovers as well amongst Hull KR fans. Kev Brown's alongside us. You were at Old Trafford. Hull KR, Wigan out Wigan, didn't they?
They did. Wigan looked like they were going to be sensational in the opening 10 minutes, but they bombed a couple of tries, and from that moment on, it was all Hull KR. And what I'd say is that the biggest rap I give Hull KR is the consistency over the year. I've almost been expecting a little bit of a drop. They had that probably a month ago, but Willie Peters has done a tremendous job with that group in such a quick time, where they were in the Championship, to dominating the Super League, to winning the Challenge Cup and the league leaders in one go. You normally have to build up to that, learn from the experience of the momentum and building your energy for the right occasions, but they've just been faultless all season, individually and collectively.
No doubt Hull KR fully deserved winning on Saturday night, but very un-Wigan-like. There was a few errors, wasn't there, from Wigan as well?
There was, and it was a dry night, which was quite surprising that there were so many errors when it was dry. I was expecting the ball to be moved, and it was, but Wigan came up with, like you say, a couple of play the ball errors. Bevan French dropped the ball over the line. Liam Farrell dropped the ball with a line at his mercy. So, they'll be frustrated, but what I would say is they was under a lot of pressure from the opposition. I thought Jared Weir-Hargreaves and Mickey McLaurin in the last ever game, they showed why Willie Peters and the team were so keen on getting them on the field. One from injury, one from a suspension, but how it paid off as well. I just thought Mikey Lewis, he really stood up, he needed to. There was a lot of question marks on him in big games. Well, he owned the moment. He was the best player on the field, and he's been very close to being the best player in the competition again this year.
Completely deserved the Rob Burrow man of the match, didn't he, Mikey?
He did. I just thought, he scored a try. He created lots of opportunities, but for me, it was his all-round game management. At the end, when I think they were 12 points up, he was put under a bit of kick pressure, and he made a break, and someone who maybe plays there for the first time gets carried away and tries to overplay, but he stuck to the game plan. He put it in the corner, made Wigan come out of the corner, and from the resulting set, I think Sam Walters made an error at the play of the ball. So I thought it was magnificent. His kicking game was great, his defence was great, and he obviously still had that superstar dust all over him where he went through and scored that try.
It's a team game, but I also thought Jez Litton was very good.
Yeah, and
he's been great all season.
He has, and he's almost been in Mikey's shadow a little bit, but he almost relishes that role. He's a little bit quieter, but I think the fact that He scored a try, Mikey scored a try, and I remember speaking to Willie Peters last year about them two lads, and he said they're like his kids. One's a little bit naughty and one's quite sensible, and he treats them a little bit different. And but he loves them both equally as much, and what he's done for them in terms of their performances have been paid back to Willie, because they've performed on the big stage multiple times now, and I'm excited as an Englishman now what they're going to do in the Ashes series.
Let's talk about Willie Peters, the progress he has made while at Hull KR. Got to the Challenge Cup final, obviously missed out, go back this year, win it. Last year, got to the grand final, wasn't really in it last year, were they?
No.
And then completely dominate Wigan this year.
And dominate the league as well. I think it's one of the biggest grand final margins for a while as well. Everything he's done it with class too, hasn't he? I think the players love him. He always gives credit to his players. And he's just diligent. I think everything he's done in terms of his recruitment. Look, I'm sure he's run them players, he's squeezed every little bit of juice out of them. And I think a real good sign of a good coach is anyone who goes to Willie Peters is they perform better than they have done before. I look at Joe Burgess's form. He's been selected for England. And you can go through that squad. He's captain Elliot Minchella, sensational player, but they weren't when Willie Peters wasn't coaching them. So he's done a job for all them players. And I look at the best coaches in the world, your Craig Bellamy's, your Wayne Bennett's, your Sean Wayne's. It's like they have an ability to get more out of the players than everyone else, and Willie Peters has got that.
Some journey for Elliot Minchella, isn't it?
Yeah, he was playing Championship, he was bobbing around the leagues, he's gone there, he's settled in a position, he's leading the team, he's the captain, and not only is he a captain, he's a legend forever. No one can take that away from him. When he was lifting that trophy, he came over to me after the game and he was crying, and it's a moment like that all hard work when you're a bit younger, you dream of, and I'd probably say it's a great look for younger players to look up to Elliot, because the journey isn't always smooth straight to the top. He's had to have a lot of adversity. He's found that right coach, he's found that right team that suits for him, and now he's one of the best players in the world.
Well, let's hear from his coach. Of course it is Willie Peters.
Willie, after the pain of last season, how good does it feel to be stood here, Betfred Super League champions?
Yeah, it's amazing. A lot of hard work has gone into this. Way before my time. Obviously, I've got the boss here. Started with him, and he typifies what he's told us all about. Hard working, and we love him, mate. And I'm so glad he's here with us.
You spoke to me in the week. You said you didn't want to go into your shell. You got into good positions. You made Wigan chase the game. How important was that?
Yeah, look, it was a dry track, so we wanted to play, open up, and be smart and disciplined about it. But I thought the players did that extremely well. So, yeah, really, really proud of them.
I know silverware is what you want every year, but to win all three available, has it sunk in yet? Will it take a few days, a few weeks to really come to terms with what you've achieved?
Yeah, it'll take a bit of time. We want to reflect, but there was no time to reflect, or it was too early to reflect on what we did previously. Now it's about enjoying this, and then we'll do reflection at the end of the year.
Willie Peters talking to Lewis on the pitch there on Saturday night. Obviously, very, very happy. Right, just put it into words what an achievement this is, to win the Betfred Challenge Cup, to win the regular season trophy, and now to go and win the big dance.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and when you've been and you've had a sustained period of success, it's still unbelievable for a Wigan or a Leeds or St Helens who have been there and done it, and the club feel it, they know the logistics of everything. But for Hull KR, this is all new. So it's even bigger and even better for them to come in and just absolutely take over so quickly. And I think, Willie Peters has done a great job, but I think you've got to look at Neil Udgell, Paul Lakin, the investment that they've put into the squad and what they're doing off the field as well. Yeah. I think,
good atmosphere
the amount of times they sell out the stadium, they're growing the stadium, they've got membership waiting lists.
Going to Vegas next year as well as champions.
They're what our sport needs. The forward thinking. They're not thinking right now. They're thinking in the future, in recruitment, on the field, off the field. I think it's a blueprint of success. What all other teams should look at. It does help when you've got finances that back that, but they've got a lot of good people who have been there and pulling in the right direction. Even Sue, who's been there 20, 30 years, she's still there, and they love that club.
let's just talk about Wigan. Full credit to Matt Peet and his squad and all the backroom staff. They all stayed on the pitch. They all stayed together. They all clapped Hull KR. They all watched Hull KR lift that trophy, which, you know, as a sportsman, hurts, doesn't it? Fair play to Matt, how they behaved after the game. And his interview as well to Sky. Well,
there's a way to win and there's a way to lose, and I think Matty Peet and his team have showed both ways. When they win with class, and when they lose, they don't often lose, but you know, that would have hurt. That would have really hurt. But like you say, they showed the respect. You know, congratulated the players and the fans, and you know, from being there myself, it's one of the toughest moments. So to have that class will only help them in the long run. I think they'll be going back to pre-season saying that feeling that we had. You know, Jenna Fubister probably summed it up the best way possible. Winning feels better. You know, and that'll be the motto going into this pre-season. We don't want that feeling again. We know what that felt like. We know what it felt like previously, how good it felt, and we want to go back there and win. So it's building a really juicy rivalry already.
And he's done a fabulous job, hasn't he, in a short space of time, Matt Peet?
Oh, Matt Peet is a successful, another great coach. I think Willie Peters, and we mentioned, you know, getting the best out of your players. Well, Matt Peet's done that, and he nurtures his junior players all the way through. We look at Sam Walters, Junior and Semba, you know, and then the senior players come over. Bevan French, for me, is still the best player I've ever seen in the Super League. He had a night off. Wigan had a night off, and they tipped their hat and said well done.
Well, Willie Peters is about to get busy again because he's assistant coach of Australia. But coming up next weekend, it's the Ashes. Yes, cannot wait. Tickets still available for a week on Saturday at Wembley. Then we go to Everton's new ground, sold out. Then we go to Headingley, sold out. 3-match test series against the Aussies. Then we've got the cricket after this as well. Look, I'm always a bit down at the end of the season, but I'm really, really looking forward to this series.
Well, yeah, exactly the same. And I was speaking with Sean after the grand final, and I was already looking forward to it. But he had me and my ears on the back of my neck stood up ready to go. So, you know, the squad is announced. It's raised some eyebrows. There's been a lot of speculation and talking points.
Come on, then. What's your opinion on it? Obviously, Jake Connor's missed out. Alex Worms is back. Callum Watkins is back.
Yeah, look, I've got players that I'd probably put in, but what I would say is it's a real good sign that there's so many players and potential players that could come in and out. We've not got what we've normally had over time is probably 10 players are already nailed on, regardless of form. Well, Sean Wane's looked who's performing, who he trusts, who he knows he'll get a performance out of, and who will probably give Australia a run for the money as well. He's a smart coach, so what I think, I'd rather back what Sean Wane thinks, and you know, he's been around coaching a long time and had a lot of success. So yeah, Luke Thompson, Junior Nsemba, Jake Connor and Lucky, yeah, they are, because they're fabulous players, and there's an opinion and an argument for them that they should be in. But I'm not going to say George Williams and Alex Walmsley and AJ Brimson aren't good players. So I think it's just really good as an English man, an ex-player, that we've got so many players that could potentially pull that jersey on. They've all had to fight to get there. They've had good seasons, and Sean Wane's going to get them firing. He's going to dip into that emotional well, and I just can't wait to watch that first kick-off, and I hope it's Adrian Morley and like it's a little bit lower than that, but we get after him.
You played in the 2017 final, of course, against the Aussies. Just an ankle tap away, England, that day from winning the World Cup. How big is England versus Australia?
It's the pinnacle. It's the top of Mount Everest. There's no other thing that I wanted to do when I picked a rugby ball up. I didn't want to play rugby for a club. I didn't want to play rugby for my country against New Zealand. I wanted to go and play and go and beat Australia. And I played them a couple of times and didn't get to the top of the mountain. We didn't beat them, but we got very, very close. And do you know what? When you're in that, it's so different to a Super League game. You know, you talk about moments. It may be one moment that defines history in the 3 games. We talk about that one moment being an ankle tap. I think, you know, if we can we need a bit of luck. And Sean said,
got to start well, haven't we?
We've got to start well. We've got to get one up, haven't we? At Wembley, we've got to get into them. You know, I think the game will be officiated a little bit different than what they're used to. The speed of ruck is often quicker. We'll slow it down, and that's not to say it's right or wrong. That's just how we play over here. They're coming to our backyard, so I hope it's refereed like our English lads are used to, and I hope the referees let it go a little bit, and we can get stuck in and watch, you know, Australia and England like the Ashes, how it should be really, really aggressive.
Right, we're going to have plenty of build-up to England versus Australia here on the Sports, and we'll be hearing a lot from the England coach, Sean Wane, and here he is talking to Lewis.
Sean, we've had countless conversations over the last 5 years since you took the England job. This one probably the most exciting of the lot.
Yeah, I'd say so, Lewis. It's a big one for me personally. I've done quite a lot in rugby league, and the chance to coach against the Aussies, the best team in the world, in an Ashes in my own town, in my own country, is very, very special, and I'm not going to miss it.
Squad's out today, of course. When you look at that 24, how many would you say you picked? How many picked themselves?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I'd say half and half. There's lots of form players in, but there's lots of players in who I know will perform for me in an England shirt, and that's my job as an head coach. There's certain players you just know you can get a good tune out of them, and are very loyal to me, and to get the job done at the highest pressure game you can imagine, and it won't be any more high pressure than what we're going to get next week at Wembley against Australia. So I'd say it was half and half.
There'll be a lot of armchair coaches, myself included, that are looking at this 24 and trying to piece together how it might look in a week and a half's time. But I suppose especially when you look at some of the combinations around the halves and how you might use that, was a lot of your selection that you're probably going to need plan A, B and C, maybe more, to beat Australia?
Yeah, I look at it very differently compared to what a lot of people look at it, and I have to consider the weather, how the weather's going to be, and what sort of players would excel in that sort of type of weather, and what hour and a half kicks, what footy kicks off, and the certain skills of certain players. So it's not just all about what our player performs. There's a lot involved. What sort of characters here? Can they handle 4 weeks of really, really intense scrutiny and tough days? And that's not suitable to everybody. So it's not just touching your finger and hoping for the best. There's lots of thought gone into this 24, and we believe as staff that we picked the best 24.
You mentioned talent, and of course the two are not mutually exclusive, but when you're picking a squad for a 3-game series, especially against Australia, is there an element of that kind of balance between talent and toughness? Yeah, there is. Mental toughness. Playing test matches, Lewis, is very, very different. You're in a tough place. Players are suffering, and we still need them to do certain things. And that's the difference between a good Super League player and a test match player. And only certain players can deliver that. And I believe that the 24 pick can all dig deep and deliver that when we need it, and that's going to be a massive strength for us.
Sean Wane talking to Lewis. He's got me fired up.
Yeah, definitely, and I think them lads will be fired up, probably more so. I think this is probably, no matter who they've played against before, I think all them players, that 17 who are lucky enough to don that shirt, probably be the best moment of their life if they can. Well, Sean Wane said it'll be the pinnacle of his career if he can 2-1, 3-0, whatever it is. If we can win the Ashes, everything else he's done in his career will be a second best.
Obviously, you're going to be part of the BBC team. You said how excited you were as a player. Are you still just as excited, looking forward to this?
Yeah, probably more so, because I don't have to go through them nerves and anxiety of it may be on me. I just get to relish every moment, watch it all as a fan. My son's so excited as well.
So is mine.
All the team, and that's what we want, isn't it? The anticipation.
Well, that's 10 and he's looking forward to England versus Australia.
That's what the game's about. We want to see, are we really where we think we are, or are we where the Aussies think we are? I think we're a lot better than what the Aussies think. Now we just need to go and prove it. We've done it at club level multiple times. We've not actually cracked that nut for a long time. I think it was it 2006 the last time we beat the Aussies in the Tri-Nations down under. So they're coming to our backyard, so we have to, we've got some terrific players. I look down that list: Herbie Farnworth, George Williams, the England captain, Mike McMeekan, Mikey Lewis. I don't think they'll know too much about him, and Jez Litton. So we've got players in form that I think on the day, I think we probably need to have some of our best games collectively together. But if we do that, we've got a chance.
Right, the last bit of the show is complicated, so I've got to put my glasses on, okay? And probably controversial as well. It's club grading time. Right, the 2025 club grading scores and rankings will be published on Thursday the 16th, that's tomorrow, at 10 a.m. This will confirm the 12 clubs to compete in the 2026 Betfred Super League with a full central distribution. The top 12 clubs in the rankings. Then the panel, which Lord Kane has been heading, which has been formed to consider applications for Super League membership and the possible expansion to a 14-team competition, will announce its decision on Friday the 17th at 10 a.m. So we're going to know the IMG gradings for top 12 on Thursday morning, and then we're going to know if the Betfred Super League is going to 14 teams. Right then, talking about the gradings, I think you can safely say, unfortunately, Salford, and I know Salford fans are still so worried and still waiting to hear what the future is, are not going to be in that 12 because of the points deduction and stuff like that. So, if they decide to expand the Super League to 14, which we think they're going to, you're probably looking at 3 clubs from the 11. So if you take out Salford, so you're probably looking at Bradford. There's a strong rumour they're actually in the 12 on IMG grading. London, York, Toulouse, also Oldham threw the hat in the ring. First of all, how do you see this? How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, well, I think it's a strong rumour that Bradford have got in the 12. For me,
former champions, former world champions.
And that's one of the pluses. The other two, I'm excited about all them other 4. If Bradford are in, I'm excited about Oldham, what they've done over recent times with Bill Quinn and Mike Ford and Sean Long. I think they've gone from almost 0 to 100 overnight. Are they ready? I don't think so, but I'm excited about them. Toulouse, well, they've just won the competition, so they've been in before. It brings a French derby. There's lots of things to like about it, but I understand the negative points in terms of fan travelling and all that too. So, but that excites me too. Just having Toulouse and Catalan in the same league, I think it's great for the game in France. Your London Broncos, well, having Darren Lockyer
signing some players,
some great players, building a squad. Having a team in the capital, we've tried it before. Now they've got this investment. I'm really excited about that. And then York, I think they're probably one of the ones who I'm most excited about. I've seen what Clint Goodchild said, and I've seen what he's done in his actions, and everything he said he's done. I thought they were really unlucky not to do what Hull KR had done in the league below, win the cup, win the league, win the.
They've gone all those games unbeaten, and unfortunately ran out of gas in the Championship final, didn't
But signing players, fans, it's a great, location in England. A lot of excitement in the game. So we can look at the negatives and say they shouldn't be in, they shouldn't be in. But I'm going to give my trust again, like I said in Sean Wane, to Lord Kane and the panel, that they will do the right thing by the game. They'll pick the right people. I just hope the door isn't shut for the rest. I do like relegation promotion, and I do like the fact that, right, if Oldham aren't there just now, well, don't shut the door, because Bill Quinn might be one of the best teams in 2 or 3 years. If they carry on growing at the state or the rate of growth that they've done over the last 2 or 3 years, they might be in the top 6 in 3 or 4 years. So I just thought we don't shut the door, and what we keep doing with the clubs who are in the 14, that we say, look, you have to keep getting better as well, because I do go to some stadiums, I'll be totally honest, Mark, and I'm underwhelmed. I go to some and there's an event like on Saturday, it was just unbelievable, the sport, we had eyes on it, but then I'll go to some and there'll be no one there, there'll be no fan engagement, there'll be nothing pre-match, there'll be nothing post-match, and if the game's not brilliant, then it's not a great experience. We want to be entertained, so let's keep pushing the baton forward, and if them 14 teams are told they're in, well, it's not a guarantee that they're in forever or 3 years, and the ones behind them are given an option to get in as well. I think that's the best way of doing it.
Keep the door open for your possibly your Oldhams and, well,
absolutely.
And Salford.
And as many teams as possible. You see in the NRL, I think, I can't remember how many teams they've got, but they keep growing. They're getting Perth in, they're getting a Papua New Guinea side in. Yeah. If they're there, and they're there on merit, and they can be sustainable.
Well, we're not a fan of Luke fixtures, are we? So.
No, Luke fixtures are poor, we've seen. It takes I think this year I've been more excited about the game than I have in a long time. I think the fans, the games, the contest, I thought the top 6 was brilliant. The Challenge Cup was brilliant. There's so much to, champion about our sport, and we just get caught up a little bit in the negative part of it, that I still believe we've got the best sport in the world. We hopefully just get it right. We get 14 teams and we're going that way.
IMG gradings on Thursday morning then, and then the 14 in the Betfred Super League, if it's 14, will be announced on Friday morning. Right, let's finish where we started and finish on how good Hull KR have been this season.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. From the start in the winter and doing the pre-season training camp, I think they went to Portugal or Tenerife. I think they're actually there now having a drink. It would be a little bit different of a camp, but just the consistency on the field, off the field. Craven Street, what they do off the field is great. Top marks to them, and they're the team that everyone else is chasing now. And if you'd have said that 5 years ago, I think you'd have got laughed out of the building. So fair play for Hull KR. I think there'll be a couple of teams chasing them, Wigan being one and the Black and Whites being 2.
Right, thanks so much for your company. And the season is not over yet. We have got this brilliant Ashes series to look forward to. We've got a special show next week from the England camp in London ahead of that game at Wembley. So see you next week and enjoy your rugby league.